All right, here we go. Hello, Kristen Seeger. How are you tonight? Here we go. Switching over to the close cam. Welcome back to the Pocket Dimension, one and all. So I'm just painting up, throwing some paint on some figures that came back with me from Adepticon, and I'm going to kick the cat out of the Pocket Dimension. He is he has barged his way in here again this evening. He likes to do that, but he winds up getting into things he shouldn't. So give me just one moment. All right, you are evicted, good sir. Here you go. Have a good time. Go find a mouse or something. All right. Good deal. I've got packages to send out. Lots of packages. But I've been so busy I haven't had a chance to really do that. They're all addressed and ready to go. I had to take my car in for service today, and that was a whole hassle. I didn't get back until after lunch, so it screwed up my work day. That was unfortunate. But, yeah, hopefully we can get that all handled before the weekend. I'll pop him. I'll put him in the truck tomorrow, and hit the closest post office I can. So even though it sets me outside of my jurisdiction a little bit, whatever that means. But yeah, we'll get that. So what have you been? Let's see. I think I saw what you were painting over there at the DD Minis Discord. But what have you been painting lately, there, Kristen? I'm working on these barrels here. I'm undercoating the barrel bands, the iron barrel bands, in black, so that when I put metal color on them, it will look like metal color. So, if you're watching on Rumble, welcome. If you're watching on YouTube, welcome. Of course, the primary method for enjoying the enjoyification of the stream is recommended as being Twitch, but not everybody likes to use Twitch, so if you're in the chat, well, let me know. See how long it takes for Rumble's messages to get through. Seemed like they took forever to get through the other night. So that was really weird. All right. Maybe I won't use this brush. It's a fat brush, so it likes to hold a lot of paint, but it also likes that. Also, hey Miar, how's it going? Good to see you. So I'm going to switch out brushes here. I'm going to go back to my usual stubby little number 2. Because this one is nice. It's got a really good point and a big fat barrel. It's a number 2, but it likes to maintain the point on it, so it doesn't really want to lay down a good line of paint. So let's get my old standby, my old friend here. So give me just a second here. So I'm just painting up some barrels real quick. I've had these in a box, and I want to do more terrain here for a little while. There's a new game store opening up downtown. They're going to have a 40K meetup on Saturday, but I'm running a paint and take at a convention on Saturday, so I will not get to meet with them. I mean, of course, I'm not really a big fan of the current 40K rule set anyway, as it is. But I would like to meet up with fellow miniatures gamers, see what we can come up with, because I'm sure that they don't just play 40K. And doesn't necessarily mean that they only play the current rule set of 40K either. So, as well as I think I probably convinced them to play some OPR or maybe even help playtest my little rule set. That's one thing I haven't really gotten into writing them up yet because I've just not had anybody to look into it. Hey Ed, how's it going? Good to see you tonight. So welcome into the Pocket Dimension. Ed Wedig here, folks. If you're watching on the YouTube, he is a steadfast member of our Sea Dog Game Studios crew. So he's gonna join us tonight and hang out for a little while, hopefully. He's recuperating from a little bike accident. If it doesn't mind me saying so, he's already got a YouTube video out there, but that was pretty awful. I watched it, so he's going to be recuperating for a little while. So hopefully he didn't hurt his painting hand. But let's all wish him a speedy recovery. And speedy and painless recovery. How's that sound? Miar says he's having barrels of fun. Well, are there monkeys in that barrel? Or is there bourbon in that barrel? So, but yeah, so we got a nice turnout on all three platforms here. There's well, there were 2 people on Rumble, but we got down to 1 now. That's okay. Rumble's just a little backup, a little. Let's see if we can reach out to another group of people. Some people don't like to use YouTube or Twitch. Some people don't like to use Twitch, and some people don't like Rumble, and some people don't know what it is, and other people think they know what it is. But I'm all for reaching out to as many people as I can find. Whoever will listen, I'll tell about miniature painting. So you're probably wondering, why am I painting black? Good grief! Really? Really?
And this man took
Stop.
1600
Shush.
horsepower engines, stuck them inside of.
Okay, that's weird. I thought I had my I thought I had that turned off. Very frustrating. Well, hopefully Fat Electrician won't Chris excuse me. I picked up a cough somewhere today. Let's see, Kristen Seeger is putting together Battle Sisters at the moment, so that's exciting. Good for her. And Ed said, luckily it was his left wrist that got busted, and I'm right-handed. Yes. So hopefully that won't slow him down too bad. But it's never a pleasant thing to have that happen. So I don't know what kind of delay is going on between the multi-stream chat bot and the chat, but so if it seems like it takes a second or two to get to you, I apologize. It just is the way of things, it seems. So, but anyway, we're here. It's Tuesday night. We're going to try to go till about 11 o'clock or so. And just paint all the things. I have a lot of things here on the desk to paint, and I just wanted to. I started on these, I think, Sunday night a little bit, just as a quick project. These are available from WizKids, by the way. These are WizKids barrels. And you can get crates and you can get barrels from WizKids. So I've got quite a few for terrain to use. I've got an old barricade made out of crates and barrels from the old Atchison's Creations line of terrain, which is unfortunately, I think somebody else bought it, but I haven't seen it go into production yet. So there's that. So, but that is what's going on tonight. Just getting these ready to paint on some gunmetal or silver or chainmail, metallic, something when the that white metal iron sort of a look. Then throw a little wash over it to give it a slightly rusty patina. Bring out the wood grain. I don't know if I'll do the whole things tonight, but I think I might try to get a little paint on one of these other figures. So I think on Thursday we should get started on the monthly monsters going again. I apologize that I didn't get back to that as quick as I should have after Adepticon, but but as it is, sometimes you just need to get those creative juices flowing again and get things going, because the monthly monsters are for you all out there. These barrels are for me. I'm just having a good time painting them. They're not great, huge, overly complex pieces, but they're going to be fun because they're going to enhance the game table. I want to do a Song of Blades and Heroes little campaign where you've got to go and track down the goblins come and interrupt a town festival and ride off with all sorts of goodies and people and the like. So it's the hero's job to fend them off, and then if the heroes don't fend all of them off, you're gonna have to track them down and retrieve all the goods and personnel that they made off with. That's the plan. I don't know how well it'll go as far as a game, but it's it's been rolling around in my head for quite a while as a scenario, or a set of link scenarios for Song of Blades and Heroes. But I got all sorts of barrels here. So I was watching Build Paint Play tonight, and they had an interview with Steamforge's CEO at Adepticon, and they're gonna have to have a talk with that cameraman. I don't think he knows what he's doing, using substandard gear, if you ask me. Well, that was me. I filmed it, so that was fun. I had a good time filming that for Dave and Jake. That was nice of them to ask. I don't have the greatest equipment, but it did the job okay. So there are a few problems with it. I mean, it kept wanting to shift color and like for whatever reason. It was very sensitive to movement, like a T-Rex. But overall, I mean, got the got the picture, got the sound. Sound was a little low because I used a tablet, but I plugged in a quasi Rode style mic on it. It wasn't the actual Rode mic, but it was. It's pretty much the same thing as a Rode mic. It just didn't have the Rode sticker on it. So, but it was all right. It was better than no sound at all. That's for sure. It's a little low, but and that's one of the things a lot of people can tolerate. Maybe not the best picture, but sound is très important. That's French for really, really important. So, looks like we got 4 watchers over on Rumble now. So, if you're not following on the Rumble channel yet, please do so. On the JP Gotrokkits channel, I've got 10, and on the Paint All the Things channel, I've got 5. So, go ahead and click that follow button over there, or subscribe, or whatever Rumble calls it, if you haven't already. So, feel free to join in the conversation if you tell me anything about what you've been painting on, or if you're interested in painting. This channel is not necessarily about me painting, because I could do that anytime, but this is actually a channel about you painting. If you're just getting into the hobby, I want to hear from you, and I want to hear your questions, concerns, thoughts, ideas. There's a lot of really neat products out there these days, not all of which I have not had a chance to use everything, but I at least know somebody that has. Now, I use a wide plethora of paints. I don't necessarily get locked down to one brand, but I also have plenty that I don't really feel like I need to buy into every new brand that comes along. However, Steamforged, who bought the War Machine IP from Privateer Press, has released the P3 line again, re-released a new and improved P3 paint line. So all those great P3 colors that you can't get anywhere else are coming through, coming back to market through Steam Forged. So coal black, which is kind of this weirdish greenish blue black, really neat color. Um, that's coming back, so check that out. Talk to your local game store, see if they'll carry it. And of course, Steamforge just has some really cool stuff. They've got the Epic Encounters kits, which are an adventure, plus all the miniatures, at least all the monster miniatures. You would have to supply the hero miniatures if you wanted to, but and they're relatively reasonably priced. They're like between $35 and $50 an adventure. They come with a battle mat and the figures and the all the things, all the paper bits you need to keep track of the adventure. Pretty neat stuff. I think they had the Horizon Zero Dawn game. I don't know if you can get that anymore. I think it's in a different iteration now, like I don't know, like a second edition or something. It's kind of a they've done another version, another edition of it. It's kind of, they kind of follow along with the video game, you know. But I didn't get into it because I was busy. I was busy collecting the Epic Encounters kits. There's some of them that I don't have, but I've got probably what, 4 of them. So 4, well, 8 of them to make 4 linked adventures. So they're pretty neat, I gotta say. Even if you don't buy them, even if you're not interested in the adventures, the miniatures are really cool. They're all assembled and molded in color, but they give you a lot of things to paint for not a bad price. Like I said, between $35 and $50 a piece, depending on where you find it. I'm not sponsored by them or anything. I'm just telling you about them because it's something that I enjoy, I liked. But I am sponsored by Dubby Energy Drink. So go to dubby.gg for a non-jittery energy drink. Non-sugar, non-jittery, with a easy come down, no hard crash like other energy drinks, more popular ones on the market. And use my code Rocket Fuel, ROKKITFUEL, Rocket Fuel, at dubby.gg for 10% off your order. That's Rocket Fuel, ROKKITFUEL, at dubby.gg. So there's the sponsor portion of my program. But I'm not sponsored by any of the game companies. If I were, I could give you codes to use there for your purchases. Something we talk about sometimes, but when you work with small producers, it's there's so many things to get done before all that sort of thing happens. So. But I'm looking forward to Rathicon in Athens, Ohio this weekend. And then next month is Final Boss Con in Rio Grande. Then Origins in June. I'm probably going to go to CharCon in July, which that is I'm going as a civilian. I do so much work at all these other conventions through the year. I think I'd like to do one just as a con goer. So if I could build enough toys, I might run something, but we'll see how that goes. All right, so those are all undercoated there, so that's good. I'll let that black cure up. Let's see. I started on this guy the other night, so I didn't know what I was going to do with him. But let's go ahead and use... Let's use this pink dragon glaze. Actually, you know what? Let's use the green glaze. Mutagenic green. This bright green glaze. And we'll see what this does. I've not used this before. But I wanted to try this out on his shield here. And see what that does. And I guess instead of shaking my arm off, I guess I could use the shaker that I bought. All right. That's much easier. Let's see. What have we got here? Probably need to undo. He's got a seal for your protection here. I guess that's so I don't wind up eating the paint. So there's a glaze. I'm just gonna use off of this little thing right there. Put a little out on the palette. I'm going to use their thinning medium too here. Merlin's Magic Medium. Put a little drop of that over here. We're going to see how that interacts with that mutagenic green glaze. Seem a little thick, but let's see what that does. So I kind of like that. It's interesting. So let's take that and we will run that all over this shield here. Now I'm kind of probably doing it all wrong. I'm just going right over the whole shield with this. That's probably incorrect, but I've not used it before, and this is an experiment. I've not really ever used glazes much, not in the sense of anything pre-made. I've mixed paint down to glazes in order to do like what you might call like translucent effects. That's kind of what I was going to go for here. Now, whether or not this works how I had envisioned it, I don't know. But I'm not a big glazing sort of a guy here. It's not my forte. Blending and feathering I can do. But glazing is not my main thing. So we'll let these kind of go there. It's interesting sort of a thing. I think it's meant for really building up color instead of using it. I see I'm making a mistake and I'm trying to use it like a wash. And that's not right because it wants to build up. Because that's what you do with glazes is you build them up to build you up to the saturation level of your color that you want. And they like to sit where you put them. So we'll let that dry out and see where that takes us. But I really do like the fluorescent, that really bright green there. Now, if I were really smart, I would have put yellow underneath that instead of white. But smart and JP don't go together. Sometimes. Alright, so clean that out. Alright, so what's next? Well, let's see. Let's get out this Victoria Miniatures model. This was the figure for Adepticon this year by Victoria Miniatures, and I think we're going to go ahead and paint this right up. Now, I don't really know the best colors to use. I'm not a big like the way this is done on the picture here. Let's see if I've got that picture still. I think it is here. Yeah. So the way this is done is sort of in that Cadian color scheme from 40K with the brown fatigues. Anything that's cloth is sort of tan, khaki, and a green body armor there. But you know me, I'm always kind of contrarian, you know. Instead of doing blue, I went with orange on these Marines. So I like to be a little bit of a contrarian. No, I don't. Not at all. Me, a contrarian? Never. Okay, you caught me. I am. I'm a dyed in the wool hardcore contrarian. That's me. So I think what I might like to do is I might do more white and blue. So maybe the outfit, maybe all the soft goods would be in whites, and maybe the body armor might be blue. So let's do that. That'll be fun. All right, noise. All right, lots of noise, folks. So this is pale blue, which is, yep. So it says pale blue, but it's more of a grayish sort of a color with a little blue in it. So we're going to go ahead and put this pale blue, maybe throw a little Merlin's Magic Medium in there to thin it down a bit. A little concerned I haven't seen much in the chat, so let me look over here. Ah, Patty's Parlor is Twitch. It wasn't showing up. I am so sorry, Pat. I apologize. Let's see. Let's see. Hello, what's in the barrels? Well, I don't really know anything that you want to be in the barrels, I guess. Wish that Steamforge was more active on their X. Maybe for the best. I know they did another VG board game release. They did Dark Souls, I think. I don't know. It's unfortunate they don't focus on War Machine as much as, well, they just got it, so they were just showing it off at they were just showing off War Machine this year at Adepticon. They really just got it a few months ago. What, last August, I think it was. So they're still trying to figure out what to do with it, I think. If you want to get a better idea, a better sense of what they're looking to do, Pat, if you go over to YouTube and watch the Build Paint Play episode from tonight, where they actually interview the big dog at Steamforged, and he kind of goes over some of the things they're looking to do. He mentioned bring back the press ganger program. Kind of look at some of the issues that were there in it, and then trying to remedy some of those issues, because I remember there were some issues with that program. Kind of like the Games Workshop Outrider program. They had that, and then there was the oh, what you call it? There was the Envoy program from WizKids as well. So now the one thing that I would say about this particular figure is this is 3D printed. So instead of doing this in 2 parts or 3 parts, it's all in one, and it is a little bit difficult to get to the underside part of this jacket, this trench coat here. So, press scanner program didn't have issues. They closed it down because of legal issues with WotC was having. Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's the thing is that whole thing with WotC. That was, I think, that was some of the problems because it's basically some taxation issues there. But you know, basically they're saying that the whole thing with the IRS is like, well, you have a for-profit corporation, um, and yet you're having people volunteer their time. See, what you have to do is you have to set up a separate volunteer organization outside of the corporation if you want to do that. If you want to have a volunteer cadre of game masters, you have to set that up outside of your for-profit organization. And there were other problems with the WotC situation as well. So, but yeah, let's see what else we got here. Here we go. So, whoops. Man, I don't know why, but Social Stream Ninja is not working for me. Let's see. Red and adult. Let's see. Bought me a cheap one. It's amazing. Oh, for crying out loud. Okay. Alright. Let's see. So Twitch chat pause to do the scroll. Alright, so let's see. Let's see. Miar said, I've been liking the Vallejo paints I have bought. There's something about Reaper's MSP paint. Have some slightly older bottles and they're still smooth and glaze well. Yeah. Is chat coming through over here? Well, the funny thing is it's supposed to come through on my backstage with Social Stream Ninja because it's all combined now. But it's not combined up and it's not coming through. So, let's see. Patty said need to get a shaker. Miar said his wife got him one. Bought me a cheap one. It's amazing. What's the name of it? The green that I used is called Mutagenic Green by Cuttlefish Colors. And if you do want to use by Cuttlefish Colors, I suggest you check out my friend Impending Duff, Neil Duffy. Use his code for Cuttlefish Colors. Let's see. We have got a no, come on, stupid thing. Red and adult. I've got to deal with a bot here, looks like. And come here. Where is it? Ban the bot. And report. We're going to block. And we're going to report. All right. Got rid of that bot. Okay. Well, I don't know what is going on with the Social Stream Ninja. It does not seem to be doing what it's supposed to be doing. So, let's see. I'm going to close that, and I'm going to open it again. All right. see if shutting down the Social Stream Ninja will help it to basically do the turn off, turn on sort of a situation. Well, I don't see it. All right. Weird. Try this. Nope, doesn't seem to be working. Well, all right then. Let's pop everything in. Let's pop everything back out. Pop everything in. And pop everything back out. Let's see. Let's pop out the Rumble chat. Pop out the chat. All right. All right. So now I can see Rumble and YouTube. Supposedly. All right, and we're going to repop the repop baloo bop peep bop badoop bop. Oh, come on. All right, pop out Twitch chat. For some reason, that's not showing up in my backstage here. Oh, yep, there it is. Okay. So that is now showing up in my backstage. Chatting for the test. Oh, these are not showing up. I got 6 on Twitch, 0 on YouTube, and 3 on Rumble. But it's not coming through in my screen here. Very strange. I'm just going to see if I can pull up all the pop-outs and just keep them up and running here. Alright. Okay. Well, there we go. We're just going to hold we're just going to have the pop-outs popped out here. And so I see your chat on the Rumble side there, Pat. That's cool. And Twitch. Show chat. Chat is hidden there for some reason. So chat settings. And pop out chat. All right. I think I'm gonna have to get an additional screen here. Yeah. Okay. So I'm just gonna have to get an additional screen. And yeah, that's just craziness. So Stream Ninja is not working very good. I may have to get the new. There may be a new thing to it, so it's just not. It's not processing and bringing things through the back end anymore for some reason. More screen, more beta. Yeah, that's right. I'll get a couple of alternate, maybe like 10-inch monitors. Yeah. So. But yeah, there it is. I'm just going to have to clutter up the screen with pop-outs for the time being. So that's unfortunate. Unfortunate that the product, a free product, didn't give me premium service. Isn't that funny how people expect? They want dollar store prices, but Cadillac service. But yeah. So for whatever reason, chat was not coming through the back end the way it was supposed to. So I apologize that everybody. But now I've got everything I moved all the pop-out windows. So that's all right, I think. Makes you think about them free products. Yeah, right? So that's it's kind of a it's called pale blue, whether it really is or not. And then there's a couple of there's a couple of little divots there where the paint got a little rough. It's either the paint got rough or I'm seeing some of the there are almost no striations on this, but even the best resin printing sometimes has striations that show through. But that's okay. We'll deal with it. It's a little rough. Some of this might be because of maybe going over not quite dry paint, but that's okay. Yeah, so we'll give that a minute. Hey, Miar. Okay, about to fall asleep. Hey, man, thanks for stopping in. Thanks for chatting. We'll catch you later. Let's see now. I want to use blue. I'm going to use, what is this? Dark Prussian blue. I like this dark Prussian blue. I really should do her face before I paint this dark Prussian blue, but I should probably do that because she's got a collar right there between the, she's got a collar right there between the armor and her actual face here. So, noise. So we're going to use dark shadow flesh for her face just to block it in. Don't need but more than a drop. And we'll just go over her face here. Now, generally, I would want to do her eyes first, but I don't think I'm going to worry about her eyes. In her eyes. Dee-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee. In your eyes. And we'll just let that first coat dry up. Now, if I were really smart, I would have done like a undercoat of really dark purplish red. Then maybe brown. But I'm really not going that far with this particular figure. I just want to... good enough to get it on the table. I'm trying to find that balance between quality and speed. You know, and I'm not... Not the fastest painter by any means. I've always gone for quality. But I'm trying to do a little more speed work lately. And these free figures from Adepticon, ones that I don't have to get too excited about because they're not for Ral Partha or Sea Dog Game Studios. So excuse me. So I don't have to worry about being super high quality with them. Those are just for me. All right, I'll give him a couple of good scritchers behind the ears for you, Pat. No problem. Have a good evening. Greetings to your family. And have a great tomorrow. All right, so we'll go ahead and use some dark Prussian blue here. Noise. Shake it up, baby, now. Twist and shout. So that looked pretty good. Looks like it needs a little bit longer to dry yet. But that's pretty cool. Maybe throw a wash in maybe a green wash around the edges. I don't know. See how that goes. Maybe. I'm not really sure what to do with this particular figure. This guy, this lizard man guy with the energy shield and pistol. He's pretty cool though. Not quite sure where to go with it. But we'll figure it out later on. Nothing says I have to do it all right now. So we'll use dark Prussian blue on her armor. And I'm covering up things that I'm going to have to go back and fix anyhow. Oh, looks like there's some leather straps I missed underneath the shoulder pad here, but that's okay. I generally try to paint from the inside out, but that's not always possible. I'm just kind of getting out of frame here. Oops, I don't. Ah. So, sorry, I was getting out of frame a little bit there, folks. But this is one of my favorite colors, dark Prussian blue. I could add a little bit of that gray to it and get some nice highlight effects going on. And it's a little bit on the thin side right now, so anything I've got some white, some of that light blue, pale blue they call it, going on here, is kind of showing through. So that's all right. We'll see how this goes. So that's pretty cool. Looks good. Okay, so I'm going to let that paint dry. Whoever thought that you would sit on the internet and watch paint dry, right, folks? All right, let's go and work on some more, the face some more. Add another little glaze of base color for the skin here. Don't want to do it too much, too gloppy, too fast, too thick. So that's good. So let's use another cool color. Well, let's see. On here, let's analyze our work here for a minute. Now, obviously, we're using different colors here, but the sash that she has looks to be like a reddish purple, which is a nice color pop against that khaki and the green. So the green and the khaki, the green is kind of a warmish green, but it's cool in the figure, in the overall figure. So I'm also likewise I'm using lighter colors or cooler colors, being the blue and the white or light gray, pale blue as it's called. Of course, that's really just the undercoat. I am going to be going at it with white instead. So yeah, the idea here is, what color do I want that sash to be? Now I could just go with, you know what? Instead of, oh, hey Miar, he's still there. All right. Instead of red, I could go with orange. So orange is a nice, bright, warm color. We'll go with orange. What do you say? We'll go with orange. Let's put her back on the painting handle here to get maximum usage here. And I'm going to get some orange. We'll use Nova Orange to begin with, because you know I love Nova Orange and I like a excuse to use it anytime I can. So use just a little bit, a little dab will do you, as my granddad used to say. And let me see if I can find my very narrow tipped number 2 here. We'll get a little Merlin's Magic Medium to... I don't really want to use the whole drop, so I'll put it away from the other drop, because if I put that drop in there, it'd be a 1-to-1 mix, and that might be too thin. So I'm going to take a little bit on my brush in lieu of water. We'll wet the brush with Merlin's Magic Medium. We'll load up the brush, and we'll get a nice tip on it where we can really be precise. Now maybe I should have undercoated that with a little bit of a tan. I don't know. But if it gets out of place a little bit, that's okay. It's thin enough that when it dries, it'll lay down well enough to where I don't have to. It's not going to be a problem going back over it. That's why we want to work thinly if we can, generally speaking. But that's one of the worst pieces of advice on the internet. Thin your paints, right? Well, what does that mean? It's good advice in general, but it's very general advice. Everybody knows to thin your paints. I mean, that's just kind of a... I hate to say it, but everybody knows that. Anybody that's painted a room in a house knows to thin your paints, even if all you've ever painted is a room, you know, with a big old brush and house paint. Um, but what does that mean, really? Because sometimes you want a thicker paint. Maybe you're trying to work things up or get things done a little faster. Or maybe you don't, maybe it's in an area that needs thicker paint than thinner paint. So how thin is thin? How thick is thick? Good questions. Quite honestly, that's a question that Tommy Soul, in his Art of Tommy Soul by Dave Taylor Miniatures books. So check out Dave Taylor Miniatures and look for the Tommy Soul book. I think, well, I haven't read the latest ones, the Roman Lapat and Sam Lenz. I really like Roman's work. Roman's got just a real carefree nature to him as far as his approach to miniatures painting. He's got a real exploratory mindset. He wants to have fun. He's one of those people that will remind you that you're supposed to be having fun. Which you wouldn't think that, him being German. I've known a few Germans in my day. No, they are a fun-loving people. But Roman's got a real exploratory nature when it comes to the hobby. Let's try this, let's try that. And he's got had a lot of experience. But I did not pick his book up this time around. I didn't even get Sam Lenz's book. I don't know if they were on sale at Adepticon this year. I did not have an opportunity to track those down. I think they would have been sold at the Michigan Toy Soldiers booth, but I'm not sure. But Mr. Sam Lenz has got a book out now, and Roman Lapat. And I remember Roman Lapat from his days when he was being interviewed on the old Beasts of War channel right here on the YouTube. It's now called On Tabletop, for whatever reason. Not really the most memorable name, but I guess it's hard to get sponsors for a channel called Beasts of War. It's the advertising algorithm didn't like it, I guess. So I understand why, but the Johnson boys started that channel up, and they worked with Element Games there in Ireland, well, in England, and then Ireland. I think they're bringing it to Ireland as well. So I'm not sure exactly what all they're doing. These days, I don't know what On Tabletop is doing really, but they did have a good scheme for subscribers, and they had their own website. It was pretty neat. They had a good thing going. But my life changed, and my schedule changed, and so I wasn't able to keep up with watching them, and I don't really know what they're doing. About the only one I was able to keep up with was old Adam Loper out there on Tabletop Minions. Him, and keep up with Brett and Casey, eBay Mini Rescues, and Goobertown Hobbies. Keep up with them a bit. Of course, they've got a podcast, Paint Bravely, so I usually I'll tune into that and listen to that while I work sometimes. So That's an easy way to keep up with them. And, you know, that kind of thing. All right. I'm going to clean this brush out really nicely with some good old brush soap. That way I can keep a nice tip on it. See how nice that tip is? For a $2 brush, that ain't bad, and I'm pretty sure it's probably synthetic. But let's keep our nice brushes nice, right? So clean them out after you're done using them. Even if you think they're clean, just because you put them in water and rinsed them out. And unfortunately, I'm using sort of dirty water. So, but we'll work up a nice lather here. Pick up that soap and get it all up in there. Now it looks like I've probably got some paint particulates in there, so that's probably not good. And the water is, of course, dirty still. So I'm doing everything that I'm not supposed to do, right? At least I can get this worked up to a nice lather. Keep your cheap brushes. Just because they're cheap brushes doesn't mean that they should be necessarily treated like cheap brushes, you know. Take good care of your tools and they will take good care of you. So, and then when you drag the moisture out, bring it down to a nice tip. Reshape that tip. I think I've got a little bit of hooking there, but that happens with synthetics. There is a way to keep that from happening, but as you notice, I'm twisting it as I drag it to maintain that point, and I'm running it back and forth on either side. So even though there's a slight hook to it, I think I can still use it as a nice close detail brush. So that's good. Let's see. All right, so what's next here? So we got that blocked in pretty good. Let's use some browns. We'll do up her boots. Let's get some orange brown. That'll stand out nicely, I think. Actually, no. No. Let's use flat earth. It's a reddish brown. We'll use that as a base for her gloves and her boots and her utility belt here. So we'll use a little bit of the clear that off. Look at that. That is earth brown. So, whoops, look out. And we'll use that to do a little base work on her gloves and her belt and her boots. So, let's see. Again, we got to pop it off the old handle so we can reach. Boots. I may go back and revisit that and go back to like a canvas color, like a tan maybe. But here we go. Now I'm not sure if that is the lip of her what you call it, gaiter, Gaiter. That's what those are called that go over the tops of your boots. They're designed to keep things from going into your boot. But the other side over here, it seems like her boot stops just before that lip. So I can't tell. Very difficult. Very difficult to tell underneath this voluminous trench coat here. So So that's good. One coat. Probably could do another one, but I'm not gonna. Oh, let's see. Hey, Savage Brewski, how you doing? What's happening, bro? Heinz Sebastian Rock. Good to see you tonight. Just saw you on. So I've been trying to get my Social Stream Ninja to work, and it was working, and then it stopped working. So now I've got 3 pop-out chat windows cluttering up the backstage on my OBS. So that's not fun. So I may need to either figure out what I'm doing wrong, because I thought I had it figured out, but evidently I did not have it figured out. So Pat was in chat over here on the Rumble a little earlier there. Broski. And So that was pretty cool. But how you doing today, Savage Brewski? Hopefully you had a better day than I did. Things weren't super smooth today. I took my vehicle down to get it serviced, my personal vehicle, and I didn't get back to the house until a little after 1 today. So that was frustrating. So I wasn't able to get anything done for work, which I didn't have anything pressing on this one project, but it's, yeah, weird situation all around. I don't want to get into it, but suffice it to say, I can only do one thing at a time, unfortunately. Chato no waku, Chayanaro, right? Yeah, it was. It was a weird situation today. Message I got from the office was odd. I think they can't do math. I'm gonna have to take in my logbook and show them that I have been logging it correctly, and the price that I charged the guy was the correct price. So that was frustrating. Okay. So is that all the leather bits painted up in dark earth here for the time being? Just blocking in here. Hey there, Quantum. How you doing? Hope you're doing well today. Everything in your life at the moment is copacetic for the time being. So I'm just working on the Victoria figure from Adepticon. So as you can see, I'm choosing my own paint scheme. So I'm giving her more of a wintertime look, I guess. But I'm just blocking in everything right now for tonight. And see where that takes us. But I think on Thursday I'm going to set some of my own projects aside and get back to the monthly monster. I'm going to be painting up both remoras because I owe you all all you subscribers. I owe last month's monthly monster. I was interrupted because of all the conventions there were. 3 conventions 1 month. 2 locals and Adepticon. So hopefully you will give me a little understanding there. Let's see. And then here is the this was the 1-page rules lizard dude, and I painted this grayish white color on his equipment the other night, and then I used Cuttlefish Colors mutagenic green glaze for his shield here. I don't know if that's coming through or not, but I don't know. I've not really been a big glaze user, but we'll see how it turns out. I don't know where we're going. We're just going to let the miniature tell us where we're going. Wife's complaining about chemo. Understandable. Well, send her our... let her know everybody on this side of the screen is thinking of her and hoping for that her treatments treat her well. Hopefully y'all can get that licked. 2 out of 3 kids have this hacking dry cough, and I've had a migraine all day, otherwise great. Well, yeah, otherwise it's been great, right? Yeah. Well, I know it's a little rough, but keep your chin up. Quantum, we're pulling for y'all. We do definitely think of you from time to time. I say we. What have I got? A mouse in my pocket? Me and these miniatures? No. But it is something. Those health concerns are things that a lot of people are dealing with lately as well. Cancer seems to have come up really quick lately. It's like more. I've heard more people have that than anything. But let's not dwell on things. Thank you, Quantum. I didn't know how it was going to turn out. I'm trying to go for like a glowy sort of effect, like an energy shield, but you can't really see through it anyway, so I mean, you just have to kind of use your imagination. I guess I could paint, like, sketch in like his arm underneath there, but I'm not going to get that fancy with it. So, but we'll see where that miniature takes us. Even if I stop there for a little while, I can always revisit it. You know, I could stop there and put it in the case, and I could probably use it for playing any game that I want. Maybe Starfinder or Space Station Zero. That might be a good game to put him in. Whatever. And that is the Victoria figure from 2025 Adepticon. So working on her. So just got things blocked in pretty well tonight. We'll do some more work on her later on. Let's see. So this is another one of Victoria's miniatures. That is the not Talarn style. This is the not Praetorian Commander Kane here. So loosely based on a certain Michael Kane there. And then the other one to finish up from Adepticon is this stack of mimics here. So 3 mimics stacked up like boxes, which is why I started doing these crates and barrels, was to give these mimics a place to live. So, secret package came from Monster Den today, and now I have to do a secret task for him. Oh boy. Super Secret Squirrel Quantum Reveries. That sounds exciting. Well, that's cool. Well, hopefully you'll have a lot of... Well, that super secret package with the super secret project for super secret Monster Den minis will bring you much hours of enjoyment. So hopefully that will be an enjoyable experience. So, all right, folks. We are going to say goodnight to YouTube and say goodnight to Rumble. And we're going to go back to the title screen. Oh, and now all the chats come through from everything. Amazing. Amazing.